Hi everyone, welcome to our event. This event is brought to you by DataTalks.Club, which is a community of people who love data. We have weekly events, and today is one of such events. If you want to find out more about the events we have, there is a link in the description. Click on this, check it out. We have like 2 or 3 more events in our pipeline. Then, very important, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to be notified about amazing streams like the one we have today. We'll have more in the future, and we have a Slack community where you can hang out with other data enthusiasts, so check it out too. During today's interview, you can ask any question you want. There is a pinned link in the live chat, so click on that link, ask your question, and we will be covering these questions during the interview. So now I will stop sharing my screen. And it's actually 17 degrees right now in my home. So I have 3 layers of clothes. I hope it does not get warm during the interview, because it will be very inconvenient for me to undress. Anyways, so right now I have the questions for you, Lera, Valeria, and we can start.
Okay.
So this week we'll talk about transitioning from marketing to being a product owner in search. And we have a very special guest today, Valeria. Valeria is a product owner with focus on e-commerce, on-site search optimization, analytics, team management, product development. And there were, I think, more other things that I omitted because her biography is quite long and extensive. And today Valeria will share her experience with us. So welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining.
So before we go into our main topic of transitioning from marketing to being a product owner, let's start with your background. Can you tell us about your career journey so far?
What do you mean, career journey?
Like how career journey, like how you ended up being in the place where you are right now. What did you do before?
Okay, fine. Well, as you learned before, I started with marketing, and actually I was also always focused on IT. I want to work in product. It was my vision of my career, but to start being a product manager or product owner, you need to start from somewhere. So basically it was an opportunity to join Ringastat. It was a SaaS that provides analytics and call tracking for marketers. And basically they had open position of marketer. It was like performance marketing. So I was in charge of doing promotions and doing some for example, events also, and my responsibility was to acquire leads and to generate leads to make them our customers. So I did, for example, if very interesting stuff I did like our customers was B2B users. I mean, it's other companies and marketers that work, for example, e-commerce as well, and that's why we did like I did some interesting events. For example, it was a rating of PPC agencies. So that's how I grab attention of all our customers and provide something value for them. And also we, for this rating stuff, we acquired leads. So my first step was in performance marketing, acquiring leads and like making promotions and all this like advertising stuff. So then I went, after Ringastat, I went to the other company. It was like holding, logistic holding. We have like 8 companies inside this holding. They did basically, it was about transportation, about also oil. We have gas station, and about and they also have e-commerce that sell car parts actually. And I was yeah, that's a little bit some joining for further career. And so basically there was a small marketing department, and we also do pretty much everything. So I also was in charge of performance marketing, and we did some promotions for each company. For example, we did a promotion for logistic company, made events and so on. And for example, and also we was like outsourced for internal outsourced marketing for all these companies in holding. And the other great task was to make a branding for gas stations. And I also love this task because I was analyzing, making a job to be done framework, creating great messaging in our branding, and we release this branding also. And the other task was to launch the website that sells car parts. We were limited in our assortment. We just sell tires for actually for, and this e-commerce was also B2B because we sell to logistic companies. It was like stuff for trucks. I mean, we sell batteries for huge, I mean, cars, I mean, this by trucks, and tires for them, and oil and all this stuff. And I worked there for 1 year, and as you know, it was based in Ukraine, in Odessa. And as you know, actually, like in 2022, it became a war in Ukraine, and because I was in marketing, it became, and I realized I need to move to Europe because of the situation there, and that's how I left the job in previous company, because and I was and I realized I was marketing like from internal market in Ukraine. And so I would need to change my whole career, to change my whole what I was doing, and to move to the other country and to focus more on international position. And this was where the challenge begins. So I never basically had really I didn't have experience being a product owner. I didn't have like much experience of e-commerce because my e-commerce was for B2B users. It was not about promotion and stuff. It was small, and I didn't had like much of this experience. And that's where the journey about breaking like barriers in your head. And for example, and I was trying to find a new job because I lost one. So I did several interviews, and while I was doing interviews, I actually started learning coding. I started learning, for example, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, like while I was on this transition period. I want to learn code more, and I had really time for this too. And it was like mind-blowing for me for the first time. It was hard, and I was like, I really struggle to learn how to code. And basically I can, like, for example, code a website, for example. So I use this time when I was looking for a new job. I use this time for learning new stuff, and the hard stuff for me because it's completely different what I did before. So basically, how I joined AUTODOC, it's a great story. I just tried different channels how to find a new job, and I wrote my colleague that we used to work in Ringestad, and I just wrote him like, how are you doing with this whole situation in Ukraine, where you are right now? And he said, I'm working in AUTODOC right now. So and I asked, yeah, actually I'm looking for a job, maybe you have some open position, guys. And and he said, yeah, why not, I should ask people. And the recruiter sent me a job description, and it was like nothing nothing actually with my knowledge, and it was so different, and I was so biased.
The product owner position, right?
Yeah, the product owner position. And the requirements was so like to be a product owner in e-commerce for 2 years and to know about car parts a lot and everything like this.
But you knew something about car parts already from your previous logistics experience. So it was still a match to some extent, right?
I use this experience to sell myself, for example, to be more relevant than I am. We went on some interviews, and I think they liked me, and so that's how I joined AUTODOC, and and from beginning in AUTODOC, I can share like my challenges, how you transform in a new position from
I definitely have questions about that.
Okay.
I'm just curious, like when the war started, you left Ukraine. Did you go immediately to Berlin, or you went to some other place?
We went, it was hard to find an apartment, actually. Maybe this. And we started from small town in Germany, and then I realized it's so small to live there. So we went to Wrocław, and from Wrocław, I moved to Berlin. But I moved to Berlin already being an employee of AUTODOC.
So you have offices in both Wrocław and Berlin?
We don't have offices in Wrocław. We just, it's remote.
Okay. So you lived in Wrocław, you contacted your ex-colleague from one of the previous companies, and he forwarded you a job description. Like you didn't really fit this job description, you still tried to interview, and then you got this job, and then you eventually moved to Berlin.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yeah, I think I interrupted you because you wanted to tell us about the challenges, right? Because your prior experience was about performance marketing.
Yeah.
You were talking about things like PPC campaigns, which is what does it mean actually? PPC?
Pay per click.
Pay per click, exactly. Yeah. And now you're a product owner, right? Which is, I don't know how related it is to performance marketing. Maybe there is some relation, maybe not. But yeah, I'm curious. Like, so what were the challenges? Like, how did you actually transition, and what did you need to do for this?
That's the interesting part. And the first challenges is I need to learn a lot. And I spend like I work a lot, and I work like late evening to be an expert in this field. And I learned from very different perspectives. For example, first I need to learn what is the product ownership is, and I went to some bunch of courses. For example, there was a special course for product ownership in Ukraine. I want to deep dive in this position, in this role. Actually, what does it mean?
But you were already employed, so you already got hired, and you thought, okay, like what this product owner think is actually, right?
Let
me check.
That's the funny part. But I really did a lot to learn, and I read so much books. And for example, there is a book, Professional Product Owner, and it's described what the role of product owner is. Basically, the product owner is role in Scrum. But in our company, product owner, it's more product manager. It's just title, but we do pretty much all the product manager does. And now we on tech transformation, and our titles would be product managers actually. So yeah, and I'm really the first. What I did is I deep dive what the product owner role and what this person does. So I went to courses, I went reading books, and I read a lot of much of this. And basically, I did have like previous, for example. I have some knowledge how, for example, in my previous companies, people were doing the same thing. For example, in Ringestad, we had pretty much the same positions. It was visionary officer we had and project manager. And basically that's, I grabbed some patterns from those people and put those patterns when I was doing this role. So and then I really deep dive more in this role. Then then the second challenge, and what I wanted to say, like when you're transitioning from the other position, what would be super helpful for you, it's to build connections with your colleagues and your coworkers, because those people will help you and they will teach you, for example, and it's not and actually, like, my tip for this, it's learn from everyone. And I learned from quality assurance engineers a lot. They learning me about the product. I learned from engineers a lot. They learn me the logic of the product, of the search, and I learned from business analysts, and I learned a lot from data analysts, and I communicate with cross-functional team, and I spend really quality time, like in one-to-one meetings, to really first build connections and to learn from them and to deeply understand the product. So yeah, and given a tip for myself back when I started, it's do more communication, do more one-to-ones, and communicate, for example, with different people with different levels, and they all will generate you insights, how to make how to be more insightful and more productive and more and learn like internal stuff in a company to understand the context. So the second, what else I need to share? So basically, about my how I learn data, for example, data analyst.
Yeah, but I'm curious about a few things. So you mentioned you had two problems. So the first problem, that you needed to learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And what you did, you took courses, you worked late evenings, so you tried to immerse yourself in the job to learn as much as possible. And then the second thing was building connections, and you would speak with pretty much everyone in the company to learn from them how they work, what they work on, what kind of problems they have, and also learn about the company. And I think this communication, these one-on-one meetings are really important for everyone, regardless of the role, like be it product manager, product owner, data scientist, I don't know, software engineer, anyone. So I'm just curious, like for these one-on-one meetings, let's say you want to speak with QA engineer or business analyst or data analyst, like how do you structure this meeting? So first, I guess you need to approach a person saying like, hey, Martin, or hey, Teresa, I want to have a one-on-one meeting with you, right? So you agree on a meeting, but then what happens next? Like, how do you structure this meeting? How do you take most of this meeting, or it's just free form, or you have some structure?
I want to like share the specific case. For example, while I was, because I joined, they already have like development going on. They have specific feature to deliver, and basically I realized that we have a kind of miscommunication with one developer. We just don't hear each other. I was understanding that we cannot find common language. I'm saying one thing, he's saying another, and that's and we were losing time. And for example, we do communications in Jira, and just the communication wasn't aligned. So I decided to make this one-to-one meeting to fix the situation, to find a common language
with the developer, right?
With the developer, right? And so the structure was like this. I will try to remember the question I asked him. For example, I asked him, what is his vision of product owner, the best like product owner, what he expects from me to be the product owner. And the second question was, who he considered to be the best product owner in the company. And he described me like what he expects from me, and he described me what is a great product owner already in our company, who I need, for example, to learn from, for example. And what I learned from him, he want a product owner to be more confident and more like pushy, just to be a leader. And that's, he said, he's lacking for me. And this was a great feedback. Like, people need person who would in product owner, developers see the person who will like be a great leader. And we were talking also, we were talking about like small talks. We talk about things like outside of the job. I actually learned that he loved tennis, and actually I also play tennis, and we have a small talk about tennis. And
you connected on this basis.
Sorry?
Like, you connected because you share the same hobby.
Yeah,
with the connection.
Well, and just and I was asking him, like, give me some tips how to improve my job and what can I do. And he shared his opinion and how we can improve our, for example, work process. What do you think are our gaps? And this, I just wanted to collect his feedback. And I showed him, and this feedback was really important for me naturally, and I really want him to share his concerns and everything. And after this meeting, this person said, "Yeah, okay, I understand you," and he wasn't angry anymore. He understand, like, okay, I'm a newbie, and he said, "Okay, you will learn. Okay, Valerie, I'm fine with you. It's okay." So, and that's for how when 1 hour you can build the connection, and yeah, and that's how you, for example, step by step, you become a better specialist, more mature, more confident, and you learn more. And now comparing me with that person in the beginning, it's two different people.
Mm-hmm. And you said, so you needed to find a common language with the developer, and you couldn't find it. And maybe it's more like a step back question, because we did not really discuss what product owners do. So yeah. I was wondering, like, why was it important to have good communication with this developer? Like, what's the role of product owner? So what?
Yeah, we didn't discuss this.
You said you took a lot of courses to figure out what your job actually is. So yeah, what is your job?
This funny one. It's the funny thing is how product owners are considered to be in the literature, and how it's in real life. So I think it's kind of different. And I will share you some what the reality is. So the first in e-commerce, actually. So basically, as I said before, I'm in charge of product search. It's when you type something and searching in e-commerce, and basically the one part is it's monitoring the metrics. So basically, I'm in charge of keep an eye on the product. So basically, of existing products. For we are like e-commerce, we already have our search working, and first I need to do and it's monitor how we our day-to-day metrics. Do we have our conversion rate, our like what is search popularity and all this stuff. So this is one of part of my job. And if we have some like critical bugs, I need to fix it somehow to find developer, just not to make company lose money. And I'm in charge to make the functionality works fine. And sometimes we do have some issues, for example, with updating products. and I also need to control this. This is the one part. The other part is the real product owner part, product manager's part, is you need to have a clear vision where you're going, where your product is going. You need to have like a detailed roadmap with those Jira epics and user stories, and prioritize, like product owner prioritize. Product owner is value maximizer. This person need to prioritize the most valuable features and say we're doing this first, and next features it would be these ones. So basically, road mapping, planning, defining the vision is the product and the strategy, basically the product owner role. The other things I need to do is basically team management, and basically I think I can say that I sometimes I do the role of Scrum Master or project manager. It's how you just organize the work to deliver some features. And frankly say, we don't have like unstoppable development. What I want to say, we have some initiatives we deliver, and for example, in this year I was we didn't like there was some time we didn't like actively work on search because the company had different initiatives, for example, migrating from regular website to adaptive websites, and I was taking the role for transitioning existing website to adaptive website, and I didn't like participate as a Scrum Master in this kind of initiative. I was doing the different role. So, but sometimes we have very dedicated to search initiatives, for example, deliver filters or new autocomplete. And for this kind of part, I do the role of Scrum Master to organize our basically our development process. And I also do this kind of stuff. I was mentioning doing the road mapping, but I didn't mention I do pretty much research as well. So basically, I monitor competitors. I do read a lot about search. Actually, like I was actually very surprised. The search is such a deep topic. It's like you need to know about machine learning, natural processing. You need to know about algorithms, about Elasticsearch, and how to do the autocomplete. You need to know about product structure and all the attributes, how the search is, and also you need to know the users actually, like what's the business context of search, what problems are users trying to solve by they're searching for car parts, for example. And you need to know like different query types. For example, users can search different ways. They can search by part numbers, like OEM numbers, or they can search by part name, or just they just type like, I want to brake pads, Brembo on my Audi i4, and you need to know how to make your search, understand all the semantics. So yeah, so basically, yeah, that's pretty.
We've been talking for 10 minutes, and I realized I'm taking notes, and it's like the entire page is with what you do.
Yeah, I'm jumping a lot, but I think I want to structure a little bit. First, it's like monitor how the things are going right now on the current project. So second, you need to do, for example, research and understand users and understand users, understand competitors, and understand like patterns of user searching. And the other part is basically it's team management, how to organize the work. And yeah,
so
pretty much
you follow Scrum, right? And like all this I don't know, estimating meetings, daily stand-ups, retrospectives. You organize all that, right?
Yes, depending on initiatives we have. For example, if for example if we for example have to deliver filters. We need like 2 developers, two QA engineers, and pretty much that's it. And so yeah, for this kind of development process, for example, we did like stand-ups and planning and retrospective, but for the other initiative, like we need to investigate new technologies. You don't really need all this ceremonies. So it's basically you just do pretty much more Kanban when it's like need to be done in progress done. So for different initiatives, different types of.
So from what I understood, you work with multiple teams, right?
Yeah, that's the interesting part because right now we don't really have super dedicated search team, but I'm looking forward to have one. Like and it used before we just have we took like developers for some kind of like initiatives. For example, for some kind of initiative, you mean you just grab some people, you know, to deliver this feature, you need those people and you acquire those people and you have this initiative and you deliver it. And but we are going to have like dedicated teams, for example, dedicated to search, because now in our roadmap we have like natural language processing, we have machine learning, and I think it requires a lot of context understanding, and that's why I try to form a team around search.
Okay, so right now, one of the things, in addition to all these things you mentioned, you're also building a search team.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I just want to summarize what you said. So first thing, you monitor business health, search health, if I can say this.
Yeah,
So
health
that's
check.
the first
Yeah,
thing.
you're
Health
right.
check.
Health check.
And second thing is you're doing research, you're talking with users, you're watching what competitors are doing. So then you know, like if you need any features, new features or things like that. Then you do this team operational stuff, which is like Scrum, Kanban, all these processes and rituals. Then you mentioned more like strategic part, or I don't know, like defining the clear vision of where you're going. And then also from that vision, building a roadmap. That's another thing. And then I remember you talked about actually learning all these things, learning about NLP, learning about machine learning. And now I think I understood, because you need to build a team and you want to know what kind of things they need to know, right? Like what kind of experience we need in the team, what kind of knowledge we need in the team, right? So you need to know that in order to build a team. So
yeah, for example,
okay,
I need to know, for example, natural language processing is data science stuff, and I understand. Actually, I have. It's not just me. You might have an expression that I do all this stuff and it's like the person, but we still have, for example, a research team to also. Like inside in an AUTODOC, there is like research team, research department, and they pretty do much like in-depth analytics and all this stuff. So I don't do it by myself. Actually, I don't do user interviews, as you said. We have like special department for that. And also we have, for example,
you still need to know, right? You still need to know that there was this interview and this is the outcome of this interview. These were the questions, and perhaps you even watch the videos of the interview to see how users actually use the app, and then you see, okay, something is wrong here. Maybe we should change the flow of search, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, my message was I don't do it by myself, but we have like a special department for this, but I still like need to be to read this, for example, studies, and
just like you don't code yourself, right? But you need to translate what researchers found to what actually needs to be done to happen, and then you're this glue that kind of links these departments, right?
Yeah, so I call being product manager is like mini CEO of the product. It's, you know, maybe you heard this, and that's true. You're like responsible for everything, and if you have some kind of issues with your product, so you need to react, and that's a tricky position, I know, but still it's very interesting. It's for some people who like this, because I think I like more generalist and T-shaped person, and I like to for example, to learn from different perspectives. So I think this is fine for me to not be in like a super narrow specialist, but be more wide person.
How do you keep up with all that? Because, like you mentioned, like in addition to all that, you also need to learn about all this machine learning stuff. And actually, this is how I found you. So there was a post that you made about relevant search, the book, and Duke, the author, he liked the post, and it appeared in my feed, because Duke was already a guest multiple times in DataTalks.Club. And then I saw his reaction, and then I read the post, and I thought, interesting, I should invite Valeria. And yeah, so why did you? So the book is called Relevant Search, and as far as I remember, the book is about. It's a very technical book. It's about using Elasticsearch. Or it's Elasticsearch, right? A search engine for building like search. So how did you come across this book, and why did you decide to read it?
Yeah, I think it's good to mention because I want to be. Because just a second. I see that I need to be. I need to understand all the stuff, and to communicate with developers, for example. And I was in some communities of Elastic, and I see like people were sharing this book, and actually this book is promoted to be a good one, like a Bible of search or something. So and I found it's pretty useful to read about search. And why I wrote this post, because you know, they in the introduction of this book, they like just pointed some my pain points. They just described importance of search and how hard the search is. And the main point is relevance is it's very connected to business context, and you need to educate developers to understand business context, because for you cannot just build a relevant search from scratch. You need to tune the search to be relevant, and you need to give the developers this context, what is relevant for users, for example. And I really like this thought, like this expression. That's it's not, and we need to work on relevance. It's not, you cannot just grab some universal search and it would be super fine. You need to tune it for your business, and that's when I wanted to post it on LinkedIn. This thought I really liked, and the second part of the post was about cross-functional collaboration. So it's not about like requirement-driven development. It's more about like product mindset. Like everyone should understand, as I said, the business context and why it's important for users to get this kind of results. And I expect my developers to deep understanding of business context, and I'm creating actually those meetings where I'm trying to explain developers why we're doing this, like what the problems the user we're solving, and for example what the search actually means. And for example, even today I will have this meeting, and I want to show them, for example, the user can search by catalog. So they can navigate by catalog, but the search is a different part, the different way to search for car parts by text. So, and I want them to understand this, that it's not about just text, it's about users solving their problems.
Because I imagine if we talk about this domain of car parts, it's a pretty complex one. It's like, let's say you have a specific car model make, right? I don't know, Volkswagen. I'm not really into cars. I don't know, some specific model,
It's
right?
okay, it's fine.
And then you need a specific part that would fit this exact car, right? And then like you not only need to know like the name of this car part, but also like the model and make of the car for which you need the part. And then I can imagine that it becomes pretty complex at some point, right?
Well, for this point, we have this kind of user journey. The user need to, for example, we have this cool feature. You just need to insert your your license plate, and our like vehicle selector will identify the vehicle by this license plate. And for some countries, we have this feature, and I think it's super user friendly. You just type 6 points, and now when your car is identified in our like website, you can just search for stuff, and you will have only car parts fitable to your car. So it's work like this. You first identify your car, and then you can search for stuff, and this would be that products that our website is showing you, they are fit for your car.
Well, you need to have this business context. You need to know this business context in order to arrive at this solution, right? Without it, you would come up with, I don't know, just a general search bar, and you would be, I don't know, compressor for, I don't know if there is such a thing. I know that there are compressors in fridges, like whatever part name for whatever model, right? And then, okay, why it's not working? Why it's showing me this part for another Volkswagen, right?
Yeah, we actually really right now in AUTODOC, we still have some like gaps, but it's on a roadmap to fill those gaps. For example, you can buy a product without actually identifying the car. Yeah, you can do it right now, and it's our like task to solve to make it more user friendly, to provide users ability to make. We need to make a website to make it more clear. Understand that user need to pick a car to find the right one for the user, because user actually can it's a quite common pattern that you can search, for example, a car part, for example, a brake disc for Audi, and that's it, like it's not specifying which Audi. So, and we need to and we now are making machine learning feature with natural language processing that will identify in a search query the car part maker or model, and offer user to give more information about the car to make the whole journey, the whole, I mean, information about the car. So we have this feature in development.
Just quite a technical feature. It includes like knowing what natural language processing is, what parsing is, extracting things from there. Like how technical you need to be, like how much you as a product owner need to know about that. Is it more like nice to have, or in your case, it's actually a very important skill?
Yeah, I actually went also to, maybe this conferences about search haystack, and
Yeah,
it's really.
Is it also in Berlin?
Yeah, it's in Berlin, and it's really technical conference. It's like for developers, and I also go there to understand the technical aspect. And what helps? ChatGPT helps a lot, actually. What I do, it's like, for example, I'm reading this technical book, and I don't really understand what information retrieval is. And I just go to ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, what is information retrieval in context of car part search? And inverted index, not information retrieval, inverted index, for example. And what this means, inverted index in the context of car part search. And the ChatGPT, and explain me like I'm 5. I'm just kidding.
That's a very important part, right?
Yeah,
Explain like I'm 5.
Yeah. So just do the simple explanation, and ChatGPT gives me like very simple with examples I can understand. So that's the cool part. And I think like, yeah, the more you technical person is better. But I don't know, and I'm trying to deep into technical stuff. I really try to understand what natural language processing is, and from a technical part. But I think the more you're in tech, the better. But still, the basics help you to communicate with people and to give them a context and for general understanding. But for example, I need to know what actually natural language processing task does, and I know it's like spelling correction. I know it's like named entity recognition. So the natural processing makes the tokenization of the query like this. It's like a brand name, or it's a car part name, or it's a number. This task also do the natural language processing. So yeah, I think mandatory to learn basics, but the better if you're in tech, the better. And
okay. And I guess it also depends on the area where you work. So since you work in e-commerce search, so for you it makes sense to go and learn about search. If somebody works in some other domain, right? So maybe for them, they would need to learn about some other things. But it's still, for a product owner, it's important to know the technical part of like, I'm just trying to think of an example. Let's say there can be a product owner in the moderation team, and moderation team uses machine learning to identify things that shouldn't be posted on the website. And so for them, probably it's important to know how machine learning can be used for this and what machine learning actually is, right? Similar to your case. And you mentioned you found this book when you were in a search community. Right? So you were already a part of technical search communities, and you came across this book.
There's in Telegram, they have like Elasticsearch group, and I am part of this group. And because actually we're always looking for new developers, and that's why. And there's people sharing, and that's how I learned. And also on GitHub, I also see like a bunch of books about Elasticsearch, and this book was first. So that's how I realized I really need to read this one, because so much social proof on it.
Yeah. Okay, so you said you're looking for developers right now.
Yeah, we do.
So what's the profile that you're looking for? You mentioned it's a fully remote position, right? Because I heard in our community, in DataTalks.Club, many people say, hey, like I really want to have like a full remote job, but it's always US based, or US remote within the US. So what kind of remote, or it's not remote?
For example, we have offices across Europe, across Ukraine, for example, and even in other countries. And if you live in the city, you can go to office. It's fine. Like we do have office in Berlin. We have our tech hub actually is Lisbon, and the previous week I've been there on a product event, and it's like you can work remote, but also you can go to office. It's not if you're in the city.
But you lived in Wrocław and you worked remotely, right? It's also
possible. And what I did, I invest, I think, in traveling around Europe and see people offline and connect with them. Because I think it's crucial to also make this offline connections. So I pretty much been in some offices in AUTODOC already.
Well, please share the links to the job descriptions. Maybe there is somebody who is like an experienced search engineer who is listening to us right now.
Yeah, why not?
Would love to join your team. Okay, I see that we have some questions. So the question is, maybe we already answered that. Did you have the Scrum Master experience? and project manager experience before this job, or you picked it up on the job and learned as you go?
Yeah, I learned as you go, but as I mentioned before, I had great pattern. We have in Ringestat, we have a great project manager. She was also a Scrum Master, and I know all the before coming, I know all about Scrum ceremonies, all about. And I see how people did stand-ups, how people do retrospectives, how they did planning, and I've seen it, and I have great patterns how it can be done. And so what I did, I just read the Scrum guide, and I went also to Scrum training actually, and practically you just, and I know like the theoretic part of this, and I tried to make it just on fly, how you say, and you just need to be a great talker, I think. And if you know the basics, you just need to be a great public speaker for this role, because you always need to. You always need to keep your guys motivated and involved in the project, and you do it by being this person, being this energetic person, being this like servant leader. So yeah, you learn the basics, and then you, and so basically, to sum up, I have previous experience, like how people did it, and I see it, how it worked. And then I read the book about Scrum, actually, like not even the Scrum guide. I went to Scrum training, and I just started to do it. Like,
But for me, the most interesting part is that they decided to hire you even though you had no experience in these areas, which probably means that maybe being an experienced Scrum Master is not important, because you can, and you're a living proof of that, you can pick up the skill on the job. But do you know like what they actually looked at when deciding to hire you? Like what kind of skills they were interested in when making this decision?
I think historically in AUTODOC, people actually, yeah, that's the point is, historically in AUTODOC, people in a product ownership position came from marketing. It was a structure. And so my boss, she's also came from marketing, and her boss came from marketing. So that's why those people with always a marketing background, and they know like it's okay to transform from marketing to product ownership. So probably if we had product owners come from developers, they would never actually hired me, because they would be biased about me. So I think that's played a lot, because historically product owners in AUTODOC came from marketing.
And which skills that you already had from the marketing past helped you in your current role?
Yeah, the first one is actually understanding. I think what common in marketing and product management is understanding the user. For example, doing job to be done frameworks, understanding customer journeys, understanding customer like pains, gaze, customer needs, and all this about customer development stuff. It's also, there is in marketing and there is in product. So basically this kind of knowledge I already had, and it's cool. So the second one, it's I want to share this. It's very interesting. When you work in a super huge company, like in AUTODOC, we have 3,000 people, and it's not the same that's working in a small startup. What's the difference is people don't know you, and people don't know people don't know about your product as well. So I think the crucial role in a big of a product manager in a big company is to be a PR manager of your product, be marketer of your product, internal marketer, to make people learn about your product, about benefits of your product, and that there is a certain company and who's responsible for the search. And because in a small company everybody knows, and everybody, it's like obvious, but in a huge, super huge company, it's not obvious, and you just need to shine. For example, that's why I post on LinkedIn, that's why I travel to communicate with other people. And because when it becomes a huge company, you need to scale yourself, your brand awareness and awareness of your project. So that's where marketing helps me, because I use like my social media to actually talk about the search, and use these techniques to educate people about my product, actually. Because and we all working remotely, so the information like we a little bit is isolated. So for me, like LinkedIn posts, it's like a virtual version of communication in office. And
that's why you post selfies, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like my trick. Like I understand the importance. So across big company, you need to talk more about your product publicly, because the otherwise and that generates, like, for example, people from assortment coming to me to solve this certain problems, and like it's generate new connections and new ideas. And that's why I think it's kind of crucial to grow in a big company. You need to be like a little bit more about a little bit PR manager of yourself and of your product and of your team as well.
That's how your marketing skills helped, right? Because you already knew how to market something. So, okay, let's think what I can do to be more noticeable within the company, right?
Yeah.
Let's run a PPC campaign.
I'm just kidding. And the other one I wanted to add, and you also need to sell your ideas, for example, because when the company is huge and there is so much initiatives, and like top management need to pick some more the most initiatives that will generate more revenue, right? And because how the prioritization works, and sometimes you don't really know how this feature will deliver money in future. It's just you're selling the future. And actually for project management, for product management, you need to be a great salesperson. You need to encourage to believe in this perfect future, like it will generate revenue and stuff, because you just can you're right, you're selling the future, so it's not sometimes obvious what would be outcome of this feature. So that's also like making presentations. That helps. I took it from marketing. Make understanding what the information should be shown. How can you encourage people to listen to you, to listen to your new idea? So basically make a pitch, right? So and it's all about marketing, how you make a pitch. And because it's and for me it's the same that I was working in B2B marketing. It's how we pitched our product to the B2B users, and we just have this presentation describing what the benefits of this product. It's the same thing I do in a company. I tell what's benefits from my product. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks. That's a very comprehensive answer. So I see that we are almost running out of time. I still wanted to ask you one thing. You told us that you needed to learn a lot, and you took a lot of courses, you read a lot of books. So we talked about one book, Relevant Search. Are there any other resources that you would recommend to the listeners who want to learn more about product ownership and this topic?
Mm-hmm. Actually, it wouldn't be like typical answer, but I think the crucial, after all I talk on this meeting, on this like interviews, for me the most like skill for the product owner is communication, how you build connections and how you talk. So basically I think and how you are like how good a manager you are and how you can encourage people. So basically I would recommend to read really books about making about communication if you haven't before. So like Dale Carnegie, or about negotiations, super some books about, like, I don't really know how it's in English, I read it in other language. It's like you can negotiate about everything, something like this. And Robert Cialdini, like about how to influence, and all these books about communication. And I also read a book about like communication aikido. This is the funny one. Yeah, I don't really know about. So I think you need to really master your communication skills. Is the first one. But there is like a books for related to product ownership. Like there is a book. It's called Professional Product Owner. It's recommended by Scrum. You can go to Scrum.org and then you see this book. And I read it, and it's pretty much valuable, and it's give you a picture of what the product owner is. And also like there is a special book for Scrum to understand the basics of Scrum. I mean the philosophy of Scrum, I think. So I think it's also good to read this one. What else? And some books related to your specific topic, for example, that I read about research. And I also remember one. There is like the books about strategy called Strategize, also like very connected to product ownership. And user story mapping also is it's going to product ownership basket. Yeah, and some some books related to, for example, e-commerce. There is like a book about experimentation and A/B testing, also very interesting one. And so I haven't read book about car parts actually, but I think
not yet, maybe
not yet. But we actually have like specialists more like they more in cars, and you can grab them in a meeting and they will explain you stuff. But yeah, like I think you can divide some like skills you want to develop, and to grab some books for the skills, like this communication, product management by itself, some like about your feature, like search, and about e-commerce, and about your domain, business domain when you work in. It's also fine to have some knowledge.
One other tip that you shared with us was learning from everyone. These scheduling meetings with engineers, key engineers, business analysts, and just asking them like what did you ask? Like, what do you expect from the product owner, the best product owner in the company, then also having small talk to build the connection, and I guess learning about what they do. That's also, I really like that part. I took a note here.
Really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I take a lot of notes, like it's worth shit is here. Anyways, yeah, we should be wrapping up. Anything you want to mention before we finish?
Yeah, I just want to have some general advice. Like for me, it's a story about how the barriers in your head was broken. Like yeah, I didn't have like the same experience that I did before, but it's possible to learn, and it's possible. So if you want to change your career, if you wanted to be a different position, it's possible. So you just need to break barriers in your head, and it would be difficult for the first half a year, yes, but if you have this dream you can do it. yeah, it's possible.
So the main barrier is in your head. Right? So
Yeah,
once
barriers in
it's
your head.
yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. I really enjoyed this interview, and yeah, it was great. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing your experience with us, and thanks everyone for joining too, asking questions. Yeah, it was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Well, have a great week, everyone. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye.